This is how you know that the financial system in America is rigged. We've been set up to be poor and set up to fail. Let's talk about it. Think about it like this. How many times in your school history have you ever been taught financial literacy on a regular basis that lasted over the course of several school years, right? To any meaningful degree. My point is this: we're not taught about finances in school in any significant, long-lasting way. Sure, you might have had a lesson that you was taught in the 10th grade or a class you had in the 11th grade. Listen, you're in school from kindergarten through 12th grade. That's 12 years in America, right? 12 years of schooling, and you never had any meaningful, long-lasting financial literacy courses in your life in school, right? So our financial literacy is low because we were taught algebra, we were taught chemistry, we were taught geometry, right? Stuff that we never really truly used unless we're some type of accountant or some type of engineer or doctor, right? We don't use a lot of that stuff, but we were taught it. But nobody really spent a long period of time in school teaching us how money works. What's compound interest? What are taxes, and how do taxes work in my everyday life, right? How do I actually invest money and grow money? What is the primary stock market? What is the secondary stock market? What's the difference between an ETF and an index fund? How do I buy my first piece of real estate? And what does it mean to have PMI? And how are the mortgage rates determined based on the 10-year treasury? Nothing. We weren't taught any of that stuff. Look, I had a class in the 8th grade called Latin, right? They taught me Latin, but didn't teach me financial literacy. Let that sink in. Made absolutely no sense. If they really wanted us to be better with money and to be financially literate with money, it would be part of the regular curriculum from the 3rd grade through the 10th grade, from the 10th grade through the 12th grade. It would be a regular part of the curriculum in all of your schools in America. But it's not. Why? Because this system is rigged for you and I to remain a poor consumer, paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm not saying you have to stay there and you have to live that life. Of course, we don't want you living that life. But if you don't do anything different, that's where you'll be. I'm not making this video to complain or to whine or to do any of that. I'm making this video so that you are aware and you know what's going on and you're not left in the dark. At least you understand what you're up against and understand what's going on around you in terms of making you illiterate on purpose and rigging the system so you stay in this hamster wheel. And guess what? Today, we stay terrified of money and money things. A lot of people. Let's stay on that. Another way that you know this system is rigged is fear. They promote fear all around us every single day. Why? It's a way to keep you and me in check and keep us doing what they want us to do with our money. Now, you can break out of this. Again, this is not somewhere where you got to stay trapped, but I want you to know what's taking place, right? So you end up scared of inflation and scared of not being able to afford living and scared of living paycheck to paycheck and scared of growing old without money, scared of being homeless. Just fear, fear, fear. It's promoted. And so what happens is people get scared to even invest money, right? And when you get scared and have all this fear, a lot of times you just do nothing. And when you just do nothing, you hurt yourself bottom line with your personal finances. Look, big news flash, guys. The stock market is nothing to be scared of, right? When you invest in the stock market and put your money there and not at the local bank down the street who's giving you almost 0% return on the money that you have there, when you turn around and put that money in something, say a stock market, and get over this fear of the stock market or fear of investing, that's when you can grow money. Not investing money because of fear is a risk. It's a risk too, right? Yeah, the stock market has its share of risk, or whatever you decide to invest in America has its share of risk. But by not doing nothing, you're taking a risk too. And you have to take risk. You cannot walk around this life in America scared because of what you see on TV, breaking news, ticker symbols. And you got to invest money. You got to let it go to let it grow and not buy into the fear that we're conditioned to believe. Another way that you just know for a fact that this system is rigged is because they make it so complicated. They make it seem complicated. But look, it's not complicated. They make it seem complicated to keep you in the dark, to keep you financially illiterate. Because when you're financially illiterate and you're in the dark, you don't know how to consume wisely. You don't know how to manage money properly. You don't know how to make money grow, how to assess risk, right? So if they make it more complicated, you'll do one of two things. You won't participate in growing your money, or you'll go pay somebody in the financial industry to tell you something and do something with your money that you could do with your money with a little bit of research and a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of understanding and a little bit of reading and a little bit of time spent learning. You could do exactly what you pay that financial advisor to do with no problem, with less worry, less hassle, less risk, and less expensive. But they got to make it complicated, because if it's not complicated, you'll understand how easy it is to open a brokerage account in 5 minutes and start investing your money in VTI or VOO. You'll understand that that is really, really simple. And it takes about 5 or 10 minutes out of your day today to do that. And your portfolio, if you do that, you'll outperform 50 to 60% of all financial managers that are out there. See, they don't tell you that it's that easy to invest and grow money. They tell you that you have to know the derivatives and you have to get the PE ratios and they tell you all this stuff. Now, all that stuff is good and fine and dandy if you want to dig that deep, right? It's okay to dig that deep when you want to invest in, say, individual stocks, right? But you don't have to do that to let your money and make your money grow and become wealthy in terms of money. But they want you to believe it's very hard, you need help, and let me show all these crazy acronyms and numbers to you so you think that it's complicated. It ain't complicated. There's a whole billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry called the financial services that exists because they want to keep you ignorant of how to build wealth, how to grow money, how to invest your money, right? Just like there's a billion-dollar industry around health and eating right and exercising and taking care of your physical body. Look, we all know the things that we probably should do to take better care of our physical self, but we also pay into a multi-billion-dollar industry to tell us things that we already know. The financial industry is very similar. There's a lot of things that we know we should be doing with our money that we don't do. And that multi-billion-dollar industry exists to keep this thing complicated and keep you in the dark. And you end up thinking, hey, this stuff is too hard for me to do, so I'm going to pay somebody to do it for me. You really don't have to. It ain't that complicated. Guys, if you're getting anything out of this video, do me a favor and smash that like button below. Also, please share this video with your friends, your family, and your network of people. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Now, let's get back to the video. Now, another way that you know this financial system is rigged, not in your favor, is because you are conditioned to spend a whole bunch of money. You're advertised to so much every single day, and it's become such a part of regular everyday life to see a billboard, or to have an ad pop up on this video, or to be watching Netflix or TV and a commercial come on, right? We're so oblivious and conditioned so much that we don't even see half the advertisements that are put in front of us. We may see it, but it doesn't register because it's a part of life. Look, you walk into a grocery store and the whole store is set up to make you buy. It's set up with one goal to make you purchase stuff. And so that's why you see all those things in the middle of the aisles that twist and turn, and all those end caps that look the way they look. And when you get to the register, you see all the candy bars and the chewing gum and the batteries. And it's all set up like that to make you buy and purchase and consume, right? You walk down the street and they are controlling you, mind control, with the billboards and the buses that drive by and have the advertisers on them. And when you go to the sports arena and they got this banner hanging for this, and this lights up right here that talks about this company, and this corporation is over here. They all bought spots just to get into your brain about their brand. It's a complete mind control game to make you a consumer, to keep this machine running and keep you as a cog in the machine. And most of us, we don't even realize that we're being played like a fiddle. The system is rigged to make us incredible consumers, not thinkers, not investors, The system isn't rigged to make us savers, right? The system is rigged to make us spend and spend and spend some more, and then keep spending when we don't even have the money to spend, right? How many billboards or ads do you see on TV or in the arenas or wherever you go? How many ads do you see teaching you about compound interest? How many commercials do you see that come on TV telling you about exactly how to invest for your future and develop good habits around handling and managing money? Do you see that? You never see that. How many YouTube channels do you see that have commercials that pop up in the middle of them talking about getting out of debt and changing the way that you look at money and think about growing money and giving you motivation and inspiration to actually become wealthy and grow your wealth and develop good habits and take better care of your money and be better stewards over your finances? How many commercials do you see about that? None. There's a reason. That's not the point. That's not what they want. That's not what the system needs. The system doesn't need everybody being financially literate. The system needs most people being financially illiterate. The goal has never been to teach you to be a wise steward over your personal finances. The goal has always been to teach you to be a big spender of your money. They don't care if you have shelter, if you have clothes, if you have food. That ain't important. You got to care about that because the system only cares about buy my product. I need your money in exchange for my product or my services. Who cares if you're homeless? That ain't the issue. Not really, right? Why do you think it takes 2 clicks on your cell phone to have a $10,000 item delivered and dropped off at your house in the next day or two? 1 or 2 clicks, boom, boom, you got it. It's there. So, how do you combat this? The fact that the system is rigged. And the fact that we've been set up. First, I would say, be different. Vow to be different. When the crowd goes left, consider going right. When the crowd goes right in terms of how they're spending their money, what they're spending their money on, you need to go left or consider going left. Think intentionally about what you do with your money and understand the big picture. Yeah, this system is rigged to make us spend money. But we don't have to do what the system wants us to do. We got to sort of be a rebel and stop giving into the fear and the advertising and the consumption mind frame that they want us to adopt and have. Understand money and understand that money ain't as complicated as they make it seem. But don't give into the sales pitches. Understand what's happening and how these corporations make money. Understand how when you go to the arena and you see these different companies advertising, they paid money for those spots, big money for those spots. It doesn't mean you got to go out and spend your money with every ad that you see or let that ad entice you to go spend your money. Look, if people aren't looking at you funny and thinking you're weird and thinking you're different with money, then maybe you need to do something a little different. You don't want to be too normal when it comes to how you spend, handle, and manage money, because normal is broke. Normal is paycheck to paycheck. Normal is keeping up with the Joneses. Normal is having that nice house, that nice car, but being in debt up to your eyeballs. That's normal. You don't want to be normal. Do the opposite of what the rigged society wants you to do with your money. That means don't be financially illiterate. Be financially educated. That's how you ultimately win this game of money when the system is rigged and you've been set up to be poor. You've been set up to be ignorant. You've been set up to be broke. You've been set up to not have nothing and live paycheck to paycheck. You've been set up to be in debt, right? How do you get around it? You make this thing be rigged in your favor. Hey, this video is not about wealth inequality. It's not about how the rich get richer and they keep making the wealthy people get more wealthy. Listen, that stuff happens, but guess what? I can't affect that. I can't change that. So this video is not focused on that. It's focused on what can we do to make sure we don't fall into the traps that are laid out in front of us by the system that is rigged against us being wise stewards over our personal finances. You got a responsibility to not fall in that trap, not just simply sit around and whine and complain about it, but do something about it. Make sure you don't fall into the trap by making sure you take steps and you develop habits so that you don't become what they want you to become. Do what you can do to recognize it and then do what you can do to change it in your personal financial life. You got legs. Jump off the hamster wheel. You don't have to be paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck on the hamster wheel. Use your legs and jump off the hamster wheel. Use your mind and your brain to jump off the hamster wheel. Use your arms to push back off the hamster wheel so you're not sitting there doing what they want you to do. So there you have it, guys. That's how we know the system It's rigged, and we've been set up. But the beauty is you can do something about it. Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button and share this video with someone who you know. And check out this video right here where I talk about how I stopped wasting my evenings after work. Until the next video, peace.